The first thing Oliver noticed wasn't the silence in the house, it was how loud his own thoughts had become. They had been building for days, maybe weeks, stacking on top of each other like books he didn't want to read but couldn't put down. Every small mistake, every awkward moment, every quiet disappointment replayed in his mind until it felt like there was no room left to breathe. So when he stepped into his best friend's house that afternoon, he told himself it would help. It always did. Ethan's home was warm in a way that didn't ask questions. There was always laughter somewhere, the faint hum of music, the smell of something baking even when nothing was in the oven. But today, Ethan wasn't there. Football practice ran late, his mom had said kindly, offering Oliver a smile that felt like a blanket on a cold day. "You can wait in his room if you like." Oliver had nodded, forcing a small smile back, and made his way upstairs. He told himself it didn't matter. He'd just sit, maybe scroll on his phone, pretend everything was normal until Ethan came back. Except nothing felt normal. He sat on the edge of Ethan's bed, staring at his hands. They looked steady, but he knew better. Inside, everything felt like it was trembling. He didn't even notice the footsteps at first. "Oliver?" The voice was gentle but clear, and it pulled him out of his thoughts like someone opening a curtain. He looked up to see Charlotte, Ethan's older sister, standing in the doorway. She was a few years older than them, already in university, someone Oliver had always thought of as calm and quietly observant. She wasn't loud like Ethan, or constantly joking. She was the kind of person who noticed things, and that made Oliver instinctively sit up straighter, like he'd been caught doing something wrong. "Hey," he said, trying to sound normal. She tilted her head slightly, studying him. "Ethan said you might be here. He's running late." "Yeah, I heard," Oliver replied quickly. "I'll just wait." Charlotte didn't move. She leaned against the doorframe, arms loosely folded, her expression thoughtful. "You don't have to pretend with me, you know," she said after a moment. Oliver blinked. "Pretend what?" "That everything's fine." He let out a small, awkward laugh. "Everything is fine." Charlotte didn't laugh back. And somehow, that made it worse. "I'm serious," Oliver added, looking away. "I'm good." There was a pause. Not uncomfortable exactly, but not easy either. Then Charlotte stepped fully into the room. "I've seen Ethan when he lies," she said calmly. "You're worse." Oliver felt his chest tighten. "I'm not lying," he said, a little too quickly. Charlotte didn't argue. She just walked past him and sat in the chair by the desk, giving him space but not leaving. "That's interesting," she said softly. "Because you've been staring at your hands for the last 5 minutes like they've personally offended you." Oliver swallowed. He hadn't realized. Tired, I guess." Charlotte nodded slowly, like she was considering that. "All right," she said. "Then let's try something simple." Oliver frowned slightly. "What?" She stood up. And then, without warning, she walked to the door and gently closed it. Click. The sound echoed louder than it should have. Oliver looked up, confused. "What are you doing?" Charlotte turned, her hand still on the door handle, and gave him a small, calm smile. "You're not leaving until you tell me what's wrong." For a second, Oliver thought she was joking. But then he looked at her face, and realized she wasn't. "Charlotte," he said, half laughing, half nervous. "Come on. I mean it. I'm fine." "You're not." The words weren't harsh. They weren't accusing. They were just, certain. Oliver stood up, brushing his hands on his jeans. "I should probably just go. I'll come back later." He walked toward the door. Charlotte didn't move away. She simply leaned back against it, arms loosely at her sides, completely calm.